Hello guys, welcome back to Trade Tactics Bro. I hope you've had a great session today. आज बैंक निफ्टी में जैसे हमने एनालिसिस की पिन पॉइंट लेवल्स पे काम करते हुए दिखा हमें बोथ बैंक निफ्टी एंड निफ्टी। तो क्विकली हम डिस्कस कर लेते हैं क्या डिस्कस किया था कल हमने निफ्टी में क्या हो सकता है, और बैंक निफ्टी की भी हम लेवल्स देखते हैं, और मेजर इंडेक्स की कल एक्सपायरी है विच इज़ निफ्टी, एंड स्पेशली विद बजट कमिंग आउट इन बिटवीन। सो निफ्टी में कुछ वाइल्ड मूव्स देखने को मिल सकते हैं। तो आई होप आपने आज अच्छी प्रॉफिट कमाई होगी अगर आपने लेवल्स में काम किया है। बट विदाउट फर्दर अडू लेट्स गेट स्टार्टेड। सो पहले निफ्टी की डिस्कशन कर लेते हैं क्या हमने डिस्कस किया था। तो आपको अगर याद होगा हमने ये एक चैनल ड्रॉ किया था, राइट, एंड सुबह ही गैप डाउन ओपनिंग होती है एंड डायरेक्टली ट्रेंड लाइन पे आती है। एंड अगर आपको याद होगा कि हमने डिस्कस किया था कि यहाँ पे ट्रेंड लाइन पे अगर आपको मिलता है मार्केट, तो एक 2-3 पॉइंट का स्टॉप लॉस रखते हुए एक आप ये ट्रेंड लाइन तक की स्कैल्प ढूंढ सकते हैं, राइट। तो आई होप ये किसी ने अगर प्ले किया तो प्रीमियम अच्छे खासे स्पाइक हुए इस मूव से। तो अगर आप देखोगे 21,457 से सिंगल साइडेड रैली 21,600 तक मिलते हुए दिखा हमें, और उसके बाद यहाँ ट्रेंड लाइन पे एक रिजेक्शन मिला। तो यहाँ पे जैसे ही इसका रिजेक्शन मिला हमें एक फॉलो अप कैंडल देखने को नहीं मिली। तो यहाँ पे एक छोटी सी रेंज बनाते हुए वापस इस ट्रेंड लाइन का ब्रेकआउट किया, ट्रेंड लाइन पे वापस आया, रीटेस्ट किया एंड परफेक्ट प्राइस एक्शन बना के ऊपर की तरफ गया। तो ओवरऑल निफ्टी में हमने जो जो डिस्कस किए थे पॉइंट्स वो सब टारगेट्स मीट हो गए। एंड मोस्ट इम्पॉर्टेंटली हमने जो टॉप साइड की जो रेजिस्टेंस बताई थी 21,726 टू 730 की जो रेंज और दिस ट्रेंड लाइन, यहाँ पे हमें एग्जिट होना था। आई होप आपने यहाँ कहीं अपने आपके प्रॉफिट्स बुक किए होंगे, सो दैट उसके बाद तो ओवरऑल निफ्टी एक रेंज में फंसा हुआ था टुवर्ड्स द सेकेंड हाफ ऑफ द डे। तो यहाँ पे कहीं ना कहीं प्रीमियम्स थोड़े ज़्यादा मेल्ट नहीं हुए आज, पर कल आपको दिखेगा कि probably after 11 premiums एक अच्छे खासे depending on the volatility you may see premium melting way too much. Quickly we will discuss on the NSE option chain for Nifty। एक बार देख लेते हैं कि कॉल राइटर्स और पुट राइटर्स की क्या स्टैंडिंग है फेब फर्स्ट की एक्सपायरी के लिए। सो दिस इज निफ्टी फेब फर्स्ट, एंड अगर आप देखोगे ज़्यादा कॉन्ट्रैक्ट्स आज भी नहीं बने हैं। तो समवेयर मार्केट में अनसर्टेनिटी है अभी भी। तो इवन दो द मूव्स आर हेडेड इन द अपवर्ड डायरेक्शन, हाउएवर वो ऑप्शन चेन में हमें दिखने को नहीं मिली। एक अच्छी चीज़ जो हुई है आज, यहाँ पे कहीं ना कहीं इन द मनी में जो कॉल राइटर्स थे वो ट्रैप हुए हैं और अनवाइंडिंग देखने को मिली। तो मेजर हर्डल अभी एट दिस पॉइंट इन टाइम 21,700 है। अभी भी 1,24,000 कॉन्ट्रैक्ट्स यहाँ पे है, और यहाँ पे 71,000, तो क्वाइट डिसेंट 50,000 प्लस की ओ आई आपको देखने को मिल रही है। इवन दो वी क्लोज्ड अबव दिस 700 मार्क, द call writers are little aggressive around 21,700 and 21,800. So two levels to watch out for tomorrow, especially on the top side। अगर हम 21,700 के ऊपर रहते हैं, सस्टेन करते हैं समवेयर डिपेंडिंग ऑन द प्राइस एक्शन, आप 21,680 से 660 680 टू से 700 के रेंज में एक लॉन्ग ट्रेड प्लान कर सकते हैं। पर ओ आई इज़ नॉट एट ऑल कन्विंसिंग, आपको अच्छी खासी सपोर्ट 21,500 पे देखने को मिलेगी। तो हो सकता है कि फर्स्ट हाफ में कल मार्केट वापस ये ट्रेंड लाइन की तरफ आए, राइट, बिकॉज इफ यू नोटिस, राइट, प्रीवियसली हर बार जब मार्केट ऊपर से नीचे आया है, ये ट्रेंड लाइन पे सपोर्ट लिया है, वापस ऊपर गया, वापस ट्रेंड लाइन पे आया, वापस ऊपर गया, वापस ट्रेंड लाइन पे आया। तो कहीं ना कहीं हमारी जो एनालिसिस थी कि बिफोर द बजट इज रिवील्ड और प्रायर टू the budget session, we could be consolidating in this particular zone, and somewhere you again have an opportunity tomorrow to buy the dips around this range. So please mark your trend lines again if you are not sure as to how we've arrived at this trend line. So if you take a high of 30th Jan and you connect it with the highs of 38th Jan, you will continue to get this trend line. So as soon as you connect 3 points, this trend line is good to go. And similarly from bottom, अगर आप देखोगे तो ये बॉटम अगर आप इस ट्रेंड लाइन को कनेक्ट कर लोगे, 25 जैन की जो लो थी उससे आप ये लो को कनेक्ट कर लो, आपको एक अच्छी खासी ट्रेंड लाइन ऊपर की तरफ भी मिलेगी। तो कहीं ना कहीं दिस दिस ट्रेंड लाइन इज एक्टिंग एज अ सपोर्ट strongly every time we've seen some good recovery coming in from here. And tomorrow somewhere, if the market in the first half shows a sell off around this level, you could take a, जो आप अगर आपने कल हमें फॉलो किया होता तो ये पॉइंट से ही आप ये कंप्लीट रैली विदाउट इवन पैनिकिंग एनीवेयर कैच कर सकते थे। तो यहाँ पे हैमर बनाया। सो व्हेन व्हाट डू आई मीन बाय अ ट्रेंड लाइन ब्रेकआउट? सो व्हेनेवर अ ट्रेंड लाइन ब्रेक्स आउट, देयर शुड बी अ confirmation candle going above that, right, or below that, whichever side the direction is on the breakout. So एग्जाम्पल यहाँ पे जैसे ही मार्केट आज गैप डाउन खुला, ट्रेंड लाइन पे सपोर्ट लिया, वापस सपोर्ट लिया, देयर वाज नो कन्फर्मेशन ऑफ अ कैंडल क्लोजिंग बिलो द ट्रेंड लाइन, एंड यहाँ से एक सिंगल साइडेड रैली। इस ट्रेंड लाइन पे रेस्पेक्ट बताई मार्केट ने, यहाँ पे एक लोअर प्राइस एक्शन बना के जैसे इसका हाई ब्रेक हुआ, हमें पता चला कि यहाँ कहीं ना कहीं ये ट्रेंड लाइन वीक हो गया है। So this trend line now holds insignificant value, so we can remove that. Now जैसे ही इस ट्रेंड लाइन का ब्रेकआउट आया, वापस यहाँ पे रिट्रेस किया, एग्जैक्टली ट्रेंड लाइन पे सपोर्ट लिया एंड वापस सिंगल साइडेड रैली। तो कहीं ना कहीं कल इंटरेस्टिंग होने वाला है। स्टिल आई एम नॉट बुलिश नॉर बेरिश ऑन एनी ऑफ द इंडेक्सेस एट दिस पॉइंट, बिकॉज इंडेक्स को खुद पता नहीं है किस तरफ जाना है, इसलिए इस जोन में ट्रेंड कर रहा है। एंड इफ यू नोटिस, दिस वाज अ वेरी वेरी वाइड जोन एंड नाउ इट इज कम इन टू अ रेंज of less than 200 points. So somewhere this is going to decide the direction of the market tomorrow. Again, be prepared for both sided moves, especially given the option chain. I feel that you may see the market touching 21,500 again tomorrow before it could rally on the upside. Key things to remember tomorrow if you're trading in the निफ्टी इंडेक्स वुड बी द प्रीमियम्स, राइट। सो अगर आप एट द मनी की प्रीमियम देखोगे 136 और यहाँ पे 126, सो समवेयर एट द मनी की स्ट्राइक प्राइस पे आपको ओवर 250 पॉइंट्स की रेंज दिख रही है, right? And somewhere this premium will become zero towards the end if the market gets range bound. So you can imagine the premiums are highly inflated, so a bigger move on the upside or downside may not result in the a huge impact on the premium. So you may not be able to capture the same momentum that you capture on a regular day, now that the premiums are already so high, right, at the money and out of money kb. Agar aap dekhoge 21,850, which is almost 125 points away, is trending at 80 points. So this ideally will be around at the money. So 50 to 60 points ka premium already aap zyada bhar rahe ho. So if you're an option buyer, I would suggest please trade on levels. Please make sure you follow a very 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 minimal stop losses if you're unsure of trading, right? And if you really want to trade this index tomorrow, my suggestion is you use the 8th Feb and then try to you know calculate that move. I understand you may buy half the lot size of what you are currently trending, but this at least make sure that you will not be a victim of the premium decay that's happening, right? That is going to happen tomorrow. So कहीं ना कहीं morning you may see, both sided moves before the budget is rolled out. So you could see market traveling down. So just mark these levels. So somewhere you see that this is a very good accumulation zone, right? So market each time has come around this range. Somewhere it has, ये जो लेवल जैसे ही 21,680 की लेवल ब्रीच होती है, यू सी अ डाउन मोड. सो मार्क 21,660 to 680 range. This is going to be a trend decider if it is, going to be on the upside or the low side. If 21,680 breaks downside with the confirmation, like in this case, you could scalp down towards this trend line. And I would strongly suggest you इस ट्रेंड लाइन पे एग्जिट हो जाइए. डू नॉट trade beyond this trend line, even if you are getting moves beyond it. So अगर आपको ये ट्रेंड लाइन ब्रेकआउट होके कॉन्फर्मेशन के साथ मिल रही है, अगर if you're getting it with retracement, nothing like it. But if you're getting a follow up candle with the continuation pattern towards a downfall, then you can anticipate a trade in the downward direction. But मुझे नहीं लगता निफ्टी कल ये लेवल ब्रीच करेगी, right? And similarly on the top, if this market retraces down to 21,500, 580 or 600 range, this would be a good opportunity for you to buy and go back to 21,700. So somewhere I feel tomorrow market is going to be in this 200 point range till the budget is rolled out. It would be dancing up and down, and will eat up all the premium that is, around at the money and out of money. As soon as the premiums are diminished, you may then see a move either on the upside or downside depending on the outcome of the budget. So please be very very cautious tomorrow, especially around Nifty. Again, I would like to reiterate the message that, somewhere the premiums are highly inflated. And if you look at the 5 minute chart, somewhere there is a double top pattern that is formed here. So both these swing highs have similar highs, which means it's a perfect double top. So somewhere if it breaches this 660 to 680 range, you may be in for a very very good move, a sharp downfall towards 600 range, right? So 60 to 80 points is what you can capture towards the downside. And similarly, if you are capturing from the support, the trend line support upwards, you may again be in scalp for another 60 to 80 points. So overall the range is very very narrow at this point. There's barely any range left at this point. So market somewhere towards the mid or the second half tomorrow will decide whether, to break out or, break down. So, key things to remember tomorrow would be these levels, especially again if Nifty breaks the day high or opens up at a gap up. If hypothetically, let's say, market कहीं यहाँ खुलता है, right? Just observe the 5 minute candle, just like today. If this trend line will hold as a support here somewhere, right? If you see the candles taking support around this trend line, you could take a stop loss of around this level, very small, minimal, about 5 to 6 points, and plan for your trade to 21,800. Depending on the option chain, what we see right now, there is heavy call writing that has happened on 21,700 and 21,800, similarly on 21,900. So they have a very good premium to play with at this point. So sellers के लिए ये अच्छी opportunity है to earn. At the same time, if the volatility index increases, this premium will continue to rise if the momentum is on the upside or downside. So watch out for some wild moves, because ultimately these premiums are going to be zero tomorrow. So somewhere you will see premium adjustments happening on put and call side both, because both the sides you see similar premiums, right? So if you look at 21,850 premium, it's 79.95, which is 80. And similarly 21,600, so 250 points. ये जो रेंज यहाँ पे दिख रही है 80 पॉइंट्स की प्रीमियम, this somewhere will if breaches beyond this levels, you may see a very 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 sharp move, just like what we've witnessed in Bank Nifty today. So keep an eye on Reliance Industries as well today. it was a really good day for Reliance Industry, over 1%, move. However, if you look at a 30-minute chart for Reliance Industries, there was a major sell off that happened from 29-21, right? So that somewhere here, the market has taken a bit of support, and then tried to retrace back. However, we have not crossed any of the swing highs. So somewhere this is a bearish pattern, and trend line of also, indicates, sorry, the super trend also indicates that it is still in selling zone. So somewhere, if tomorrow morning you see a gap up in this area, right, for Reliance Industry, if it opens around this level, observe this level very carefully. Wait for a candle to close about 28.68, or let's take it as 28.70. If it's sustaining above this level, you could see similar move happening on the upside for Nifty, right? So Reliance is going to be the biggest player for tomorrow, especially for Nifty's direction. So please, I understand while you are trading the index, it's also important to understand what are the key uh, you know contributors of that index, which are responsible to either move in the upward or downward direction. So Reliance holds a very heavy weightage in terms of Nifty, and tomorrow somewhere Nifty is going to decide that shape of the move. So be prepared, and again, like we discussed yesterday, please do not be under an assumption that we have over 200 points of rally today, and we could anticipate a similar rally tomorrow. Yes, you could see a rally on the upside, but there could be a retracement before that happens. So be prepared. If you see the markets breaching below this, I'll just remove all the drawings so that we keep it pretty simple for tomorrow, right? Just mark the day high, what we have, this double top formation right here, and then just draw a small zone here. I would ideally move this zone up to 21,660 to 680 zone. And if I'm able to kind of scalp post this, you are in for a good target of 21 580 to 21 550 levels, and further trail it down, right? So please mark these levels on your chart too. So since tomorrow it's an expiry, you may not see a 200-point rally in one go. You could see a 50-point hurdle taking a support and then breaching back. So you could see multiple variations of up and down moments tomorrow. Volatility will be at its peak tomorrow, given the budget will be out. So in the first half, my only advice is just trade on levels, right? Do not anticipate or predict the move in advance, and keep an eye out on this premium. So never would you see a premium one day before an expiry trending about 250 to 300 points, right? So it's unreal, and somewhere these premiums will move into zero, right? So when that happens, even though you've taken a trade at the right direction or at the right point, because of the premium decay that will trigger in the second half, you may see losses in your trades. Okay, and those were the levels. So mark these important levels. So the on top, it would be the day high. If Nifty opens up above 21,730, it is slightly positive. And you could watch out for this trend line. Please mark this trend line. We've marked it from the previous swing. So if you mark the trend line from the swing high of 29th Jan, and somewhere this trend line has been really effective, especially giving us a bigger move on the downside. So watch out for this. If it opens above it, nothing like it, you may see a bigger run on the top. The first level, as soon as it breaks out, would be 21,800, and then you could trail to go higher to fill this gap, right? So again, today market tried to kind of come down and fill this gap, but immediately took a support from this trend line. So do not continue to wait for those levels. If the market is somewhere turning in your opposite direction, exit that trade, and as soon as the high is breached with the confirmation, you can re-enter that trade, but don't sit in the trade for a longer time, especially on an expiry. We'll quickly look at what we discussed on the bank nifty as well. So as we discussed yesterday, bank nifty was stuck in this range, and today, surprisingly, there was a gap down, and it rallied down straight down to our previous day closing. So if you have marked this level, it was pinpoint level where the market retraced, took a support here. So if you notice, ये trend line break हुआ, पर इसका confirmation candle नहीं था. So confirmation candle is another candle following up this, right? If market has to fall, it will follow up with another candle. I will show you an example on the top which has a confirmation. So here somewhere market took a support, stabilized itself, and then directly onto our trend line. Here it took multiple rejections. So I just want to make you understand that these trend lines work, right? And it's simple to draw, it's simple to analyze. All you have to do is believe in it, and stay focused around what's happening around the price action. So as soon as you see rejection and you enter a put trade, it wouldn't work that way, right? So your first attempt is, if you have captured this move, you exit the trade here, wait for a perfect price action, and when you see a trend line breakout with the confirmation, here it's a perfect example. This was a major trend line wherein we've seen biggest faults happening, right? So bank nifty has broken out of it, and somewhere has retraced back, taken a support, and rallied back up. So all the targets that we've expected in bank nifty have been met. This barring the gap filling zone at the bottom, both the sides of the targets were met. So we anticipated if the trend line breaks out, we could trail and go up till 46,200, and that's exactly the level. We missed out by 23 points, but however, 46,177 from 45 114 is over 1,000 point move in bank nifty on an expiry is remarkable. So I hope that you guys have traded on levels and you've seen the profits of the same. And here somewhere we are seeing an interesting price action. Again, this is a beautiful consolidation that is happening. So you could refer to as a bull flag here again in bank nifty. So this is a very strong pattern, which again, if it breaks out on top, we are in for our first target of this level. 46,500 would be our first hurdle, and then if it breaches, we will be up, going closer to that 47 100 125 mark. So bank nifty, you, even though it's not an expiry and you may see premiums higher, you may see another jackpot move on bank nifty tomorrow again, unless the condition is this trend line shouldn't be breached. If this trend line breaks, you could trail back to this trend line somewhere, because at a higher time frame it has to take a support and then rally upwards. So somewhere you might see bank nifty coming back and retracing to this trend line, probably in the next couple of sessions, unless it keeps itself above this trend line. So keep things simple. From nifty perspective, my suggestion would be just to make sure that you are prepared to be versatile around these two ranges. You should be ready to take a short trade, you should be ready to take a long trade when near the trend lines, because somewhere option chain suggests that there is no support nor a stronger resistance, unless you are 100 150 points from the spot price. So the first resistance 21,800, 21,700, and if we are able to breach both these levels, then you are up for 21,900. But I would suggest, if you're trading tomorrow in nifty, please book your profits around the major resistance areas, right? And do not plan for a reversal trade immediately as soon as you find so let's assume that nifty opens somewhere here, and it it's at this trend line, right? So don't anticipate that it's at the trend line and I want to short, right? It wouldn't work that way, because somewhere, people try to short here, and you know market will simply trap you in that zone. So observe the price action. So let's assume that similar candles are being formed around this trend line here. So what you do is you mark your range and see if this low breaches. So as soon as this low breaches, which means these buyers somewhere are in panic, and they will start exiting their positions, which makes the momentum on the downside slightly faster, and it could come back to retrace to this super trend support right here, 21,670 to 680, which we were calling out. So keep it simple. Keep the levels marked. Tomorrow you might see some really really good moves and rally on the upside and downside. Probably, from what I'm thinking, is this resistance here. It's a double top formation. Unless we have a gap up, you could, consider taking a support here if Nifty opens above 21,740 and retraces back to this level somewhere, right? So you could plan a long trade from here. Just have a open view on the OI as well. So if you see open interest, changing, so these contracts moving inside, it means that the put writers are interested in taking the market higher, right? Or if you see call writing contracts being aggressive, in that case you need to be aware that the market could finish a complete M pattern too, right? So it looks very interesting from where market is standing at this point right now. We don't see any particular direction for the market. So from here, right, if you see, this is a perfect formation of the levels, right? And if somewhere this range right here breaks out, we could be in for a bigger target up. And similarly, if it breaks out, you may see similar targets, which are around 300 points on top, right? So it could take us closer to the all time high here to fill this gap, right? So just keep an eye. You may be able to scalp, or you may be able to catch a longer trades, but don't stay in trades for longer time if it is not moving, and it's in a stuck in a range bound. So the best way to identify a range bound is, take a 15-minute candle, mark their highs, and if it is not breaching the high nor the low, it means that somewhere market is consolidating in that range. So tomorrow this range will be a decider. Either it is going to be an M, or it will be a continuation of the higher low pattern. So somewhere here, if you notice, we were doing a lower low, lower high, and a lower low, then followed up with one change of structure here: high, lower low, higher high, lower low, higher high, and then again lower low. So somewhere, this pattern will be complete if we move above this. But this pattern will show a change of structure or change of character as soon as it retraces back and breaches this 21,600 level somewhere. And that may trigger a wild move completing an M pattern. So be prepared for both the sides moves again. And somewhere this gap filling worries me. Now or later, the market will come here. So if you find market breaching this support here, you could see market coming in, filling this zone, and then rallying, just like what we saw on Bank Nifty today. So I hope you've liked this analysis. अगर आपको कुछ भी डाउट है, अगर if you need anything else from the chart perspective, do let me know. I'll try to incorporate more such strategies for you. But the whole point, what I've observed, is as simple as you keep the chart, it's easier for you to trade. So if you're going to draw a whole bunch of levels and indicators, it is only going to restrict you from trading, right? So on that note, I also want to remind you that you know I'm not a SEBI registered or financial advisor. So if you're considering trading or planning an investment, or that involves investment, please make sure you consult a financial advisor before you indulge in any of such activities. Because again, like we've discussed previously as well, we are in a market where there is no clarity of direction. So when that is the case, you may see wild moves up and down without following a particular pattern. So although we do our analysis to make sure we don't end up in the wrong side of the trade, but anything is possible on an expiry. One single point move down, trap you, and then go back up, right? So anything could happen. So make sure your stop losses are confined to smaller points, and predominantly tomorrow Reliance Industry will decide the direction of the market. So keep it simple. Reliance Industry is stuck in this range here today, 21 28.34 to 28.63. See this 28.29, so roughly take a 30-point move here. This 30-point range will decide the direction of Nifty as well tomorrow. So somewhere if it opens gap up above this level, just see the behavior of the market as to, if let's say gap up, it goes back here, right? When it retraces back, just see if it is taking a support here. If it is taking a support, you could plan a long trade, and similarly you will see similar price action happening in Nifty, right? It could come back here, take a support, and rally back up. So again, Reliance Industries, keep this in your watch list, and while you're trading Nifty, keep this right next to it, because somewhere what Reliance Industry has in terms of the chart behavior, Nifty also follows, because it holds major weightage. On that note, I would like to conclude this analysis. I hope you've liked it. If you really did, please drop in that like. It really means a lot. Please share and subscribe to our channel to stay tuned with all the latest content that we will be posting. And please trade responsibly if you're trading any of the FNOs. And keep smaller targets, and try to sustain yourself for a longer time in market, rather than trying out some of the hero zero concepts, right? You shouldn't be doing that. If it happens with skill, then it's great. But if you are going to anticipate that a 3 rupee premium can go to 300 every time, in all honesty, that 3 rupee premium is going to go to zero, right? You may find once in a month or two, and we may be ending up in the wrong side of the market at that point in time. So stay tuned for more, and we will calibrate our movement and analysis tomorrow again, to understand what was the move tomorrow, and we will continue to post more videos around what's expected after the budget, and what could be some of the stocks that could rally post the budget that we have tomorrow. So thank you again. Have a great session Thursday. If you're again trading on Nifty, simple reminder, premiums are inflated. So please do not indulge into a heavy buying unless you are sure of the direction that you're trading. Please take risk to reward. Consider your risk to reward before you trade. All right. On that note, I would like to conclude this. Thank you, and have a great Thursday.